All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving deep. We're going to draw a straight line from the most fundamental laws of the cosmos all the way to the inside of your own head, to the very act of having a thought. And you know what? The link between them is this one single powerful idea that, well, it might just change how you look at, well, everything. So let's jump in. So let me ask you this. What could a dream, a habit, and the law of gravity possibly have in common? I mean, it sounds like the setup to a joke, right? You've got this vivid dream you had last night, the completely automatic way you drive to work, and then the force that's literally holding our planet in its orbit. How do you connect those dots? Well, the answer is this incredible concept that sort of reframes the whole picture of reality. And that answer is something called a continuum. Now, the best way to think about this, picture a riverbed, right? It's not the water itself, it's the channel that guides the water. It's the stable but still dynamic structure that lets the river of information, and that could be a thought, a dream, or even energy flowing through the universe. It's what allows it to flow through time and space. It's the track, the pattern, the riverbed. Okay, so how does that actually work in practice? Well, the whole theory is built around this idea of a continuum cascade. It's exactly what it sounds like, a step-by-step process where reality literally builds on itself, starting from the very, very bottom, layer by layer, until it gives rise to something as unbelievably complex as a conscious mind. Your mind. And it happens in 5 distinct layers that all stack on top of each other. It's amazing. So you start with the universal layer. We're talking the absolute basics, the laws of physics. Then that foundation makes it possible for the material layer to exist, actual physical matter. From there, that matter gets organized into the biological layer, life itself. And out of life, the cognitive layer emerges. This is where patterns of thought can finally take shape. And then, at the very top, the whole thing culminates in the experiential layer, your actual, subjective, conscious awareness. Now, here's what's so cool, and what you see right here. Each new layer inherits all the rules from the one below it, but then it adds its own incredible new powers to the mix. So, physics gives us the basic rules of stability. Matter takes those rules and adds structure and form. Life comes along and adds the ability to self-organize and self-repair. Then, cognition emerges, giving us symbolic thought and learning. And finally, our experience, our consciousness, weaves all of that into a story, into a narrative. It's this incredible stack of evolving properties. And this really gets to the heart of it. That quote on the screen asks, what does gravity have to do with your thoughts? And the answer is just profound. Gravity and all the laws of physics provide the bedrock rules for stability. Think about that. The only reason you can hold a single consistent thought in your mind for more than a fraction of a second is because your brain, your biology, your atoms, everything you're made of is built on a foundation of physical laws that don't change. Without a stable universe, you couldn't have stable biology. And without stable biology, forget about having a stable thought. All right, so we've taken this massive journey from the whole universe right down into the mind. Now, let's zoom in even closer on that cognitive layer and talk about the 2 fundamental ways, the 2 flavors that a stream of thought gets kicked off inside your brain. So, basically, almost every thought you have starts in one of 2 ways. It's either emotion first or algorithm first. An emotion first thought? That's coming from your amygdala. It's that sudden jolt of fear when you hear a loud noise, or that rush of happiness. It's raw, it's intense. On the other hand, an algorithm first thought is much more structured. It's driven by your prefrontal cortex. Think about following the steps in a recipe, or working through a math problem. It's all about sequence and order, just 2. That's it. And that's really the crucial takeaway here. I mean, stop and think about it for a second. All the complex, swirling, messy mental stuff going on in your head right now, pretty much all of it started as one of 2 things. A raw gut feeling, or a structured logical sequence. Now, from there, they can mix and merge and evolve into the incredible tapestry of your mind, but the starting points? They're surprisingly simple. And this is where this whole theory becomes super practical, where it really hits home. Because by understanding these continuums, these thought streams, we can start to make sense of some of the most powerful and, let's be honest, automatic forces that run our daily lives. We're talking about instincts, habits, and even addictions. Yeah, this table just lays it all out so clearly. Let's break it down. An instinct, right? Like jumping when you're startled, that's a classic emotion-first continuum. It's baked into your genetic wiring, it's super stable, you can't really change it. Then you have a habit, like tying your shoes or brushing your teeth. That's algorithm first. You built that pattern through repetition. It's also very stable, but, and this is key, you can retrain it. And then you have addiction. That's emotion first again, but the stability is off the charts. It's pathologically high because it has hijacked the brain's own reward system. And that's what makes these things, instincts, habits, addictions, so incredibly powerful. They're what we call primary continuums. And what that means is they do not need your conscious permission to get started. They can fire up all by themselves, just from a trigger in the environment or an internal feeling. They launch a whole stream of thought and behavior before your conscious mind even has a chance to catch up. Okay, so let's pull back for a second. If our consciousness is just the current top layer of this massive cosmic cascade, what's next? Where does it go from here? Well, using the same logic, the model lets us make some pretty mind-blowing, awe-inspiring predictions about the future of what a mind could even be. So, for starters, we could see what are called biocognitive hybrids. And this is exactly what it sounds like. Biological brains, like ours, being seamlessly integrated with synthetic processing systems. Imagine creating a shared continuum of thought with abilities far beyond what a biological brain or a computer could ever do on its own. And if you can do that, what's the next step? Well, you could have multi-mind collectives. Think about that. Distributed networks of minds, maybe human, maybe AI, maybe both, all sharing thoughts and emotions directly, across any distance, solving problems together as if they were a single, synchronized cognitive being, a continuum that literally spans the planet. And then, to really push the boundaries, you could eventually see quantum-integrated cognition, minds that can actually leverage the bizarre, spooky rules of the quantum world. This could mean things like having superposed thoughts, holding multiple, even contradictory ideas in your head at the very same time, or making these huge intuitive leaps across vast conceptual landscapes in an instant. So it all comes back to this. From the basic laws of physics, to the formation of matter, to the spark of life, to your own thoughts right now, you are part of this grand, unfolding, evolving cascade. And if your conscious experience is just the latest layer to emerge, it leaves you with a pretty profound question, doesn't it? What comes next? And more importantly, what will it feel like?